What's going on, friends? There's been a lot of Harley-Davidson models over the years that have come and gone, one including the Dyna Switchback. But before the Dyna Switchback, there was another bike that was very similar, and it's still with us today. And that bike is the Softail Heritage Classic. The Softail Heritage Classic is one bike that has pretty much stood the test of time in the modern era with Harley-Davidson. And by the modern era, I mean all the engines and everything that came after the shovel head from the Evo on. From the Evo on, the Softail Heritage Classic has been there for us year after year. This bike was introduced, it had the big headlights, the big fenders, the touring accessories, the floorboards, anything and everything you could ever ask for. Now, many would consider the Dyna Switchback to be a baby road king. Well, I kind of feel like the Heritage Softail Classic was the original, kind of the smaller version of the Road King. Softail chassis, all the absolute touring accessories you could ever ask for, all in one package from Harley-Davidson. That right there is hard to beat. And when it comes to the Heritage Classic, you've got a litany of options to choose from. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, the Heritage Classic debuted in 1986 with the good, tried and true Evolution engine. Well, I guess in 1986, it was pretty much brand new. It wasn't really tried and true yet, but it was going to prove itself over the years. Now, the Heritage Softail Classic, they had many color options over the years. Now, the interesting thing about the Heritage is that these bikes really didn't change much over the years. They kept the same profile. You still got the windshield, the floorboards, the backrest, the bags. You got everything on these motorcycles. This was the original kind of stopgap between a full-on touring machine and a stripped-down cruiser. Now, I've seen a lot of guys that'll take a Heritage Classic, they'll take the bags and the windshield off of them, and honestly, they still look pretty damn good just like that. This bike was made for somebody that didn't really want to go with the weight and everything of a full-on touring machine, but then again, you wanted more than just a cruiser. This was a way to buy it from the factory and get absolutely everything all in one place. Now, I'm not even going to go into all the color options that they had on these motorcycles over the years, but typically you got the spoke wheels with these machines. Now, it wasn't until later years with the Milwaukee-Eight version that we actually saw cast wheels. Now, I'm kind of curious what you guys think about that. To me, that really kind of changed the look of the bike. What do you guys think? Did you like the spoke wheels on the Heritage, or did you like those cast wheels that they came out with on the Milwaukee-Eight version? Now, when it comes to the Heritage, I mentioned that you have a litany of options in regards to this model. This bike, you can find them used with an Evolution engine, twin cam 88, 96, 103, all the way up to a Milwaukee-Eight and a 107 and a 114. Now, sadly, the Heritage Softail Classic never did get a Screaming Eagle 110. There actually was a CVO version of the Softail Deluxe, which got the Screaming Eagle 110 in it, but sadly, the Heritage never saw one. There was never a CVO version or anything like that of that bike. Now, what I love about the Heritage, and I mentioned you had options, there was even a Springer version of this bike, which you didn't see a lot of those. Harley-Davidson didn't make a lot of Springers in the modern era, but the Heritage was one of them. Now, the other thing, when it comes to the Heritage Softail Classic, this was the original Dyna Switchback. Although they never really marketed this bike as pulling the bags and the windshield off of, but they still look good even if you strip them down. Now, honestly, Harley-Davidson, they tried to do the same thing with the Dyna Switchback. That was the Dyna that nobody wanted. If you guys want to see that video, I'll pop it up. But that Dyna, nobody wanted it. There wasn't a whole lot of interest in it. There wasn't a big market for it when it was actually being produced. But when that thing went out of production, just like anything, people want what they can't have, And when they went out of production, all of a sudden, it gained in popularity, and everybody wanted a Dyna Switchback, which honestly is an excellent motorcycle if you're looking for kind of a touring bike that's not quite on the spectrum of a full-on touring machine. But that is what I absolutely love about the Heritage. You get all the amenities, all the features, without all the extra added weight. You could take these bikes, you could add a stereo to them, you could add a luggage rack to them, and it doesn't detract from the look of the motorcycle if you ask me. They still look good, and they can go for the long haul. I mentioned that the Heritage really didn't change much over the years. The biggest changes I saw in the Heritage Classic were when we got to the Milwaukee-Eight era. Now, I know a lot of you guys have mixed feelings, as so do I, when it comes to a lot of the models that carried over into the new Softail platform and became Milwaukee-Eights when they dropped the Dyna. Now, the Milwaukee-Eight version of the Heritage, I still think is an excellent looking motorcycle, and I wouldn't mind having one myself with a 114 in it. I'm just not ready for a full-on touring bike, but I do like a little bit more in a cruiser with the bags and the windshield because I do like to ride some distances, and for that, the Heritage is already set up and it's ready to go. And on the Milwaukee-Eight version, I did like how they blacked out the lower on the windshield, and they changed the styling a little bit. They kind of updated it some to where it didn't have that kind of really classic look with the studs and the seats and on the bags and the fringe on it. That used to be really popular, and honestly, I still kind of like that retro look personally. But the new one, they made it modern without making it too modern and detracting from what that bike really is, which is really kind of a throwback model. It's all there, and it's all modernized in the Milwaukee-Eight. And the best part about that is, with the Milwaukee-Eight version, you don't have that mess of electronics to worry about and deal with. You're basically getting a touring bike that you don't have the big screen and all that fancy stuff they're putting in them now. It's still pretty much a basic Harley-Davidson minus the fuel injection. Now guys, I'm really interested to hear this one. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer the older Heritage Classic, or do you prefer the later model, the updated version with the Milwaukee-Eight in it? How do you feel like those two compare, and which one do you like better? Which one would you choose? I can already guess. I bet a lot of you would choose one that's already got an Evo engine in it. I know I'd take one with an Evo for sure. But guys, let me know down in the comments which one you like better, the old style one or the new updated modern version of the Heritage Softail Classic. But anyhow guys, that's all I've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next time guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.